I've been given the keys to a 1987 Porsche 944, and I have 1 mile to drive and give you my impressions. So the 1987 944 was about midway through the model cycle. This is a base car owned by a local member that is in pristine condition. Has about 60,000 miles, and I'm looking forward to drive it and see how a fairly fresh 944 feels behind the wheel. You have a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, naturally aspirated, makes 150 horsepower, downhill as the owner says, and it's rear-wheel drive, and it also has a rear transaxle, which means that the transmission and the differential are part of one unit in the back, which gives this car fairly unique driving characteristics, especially from a car from this era. Now, with that said, I'm about to get behind the wheel and drive this car for a mile.
Be sure to log into your YouTube account, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. Best of all, it's free to do so.
Right, here we are, 944. I've driven 944s, I've driven 968, or I've driven 944 S2s, 944 turbos, 968s, a 924S. I've never driven a base 944 before, so this will be quite the treat. I've been told this car is a Concours winner, and it really looks the part. The interior is immaculate, there's no cracked dash. The exterior, Alpine white paint, looks great. One thing you'll notice is that there's a fairly rare burgundy interior in here, which adds a nice sort of luxurious flavor, which you don't always see with the black interiors or linen or white that you get on most 944s. Is a momentum car. It's not quick by today's standards, but it should still be a lot of fun. Put this thing into first gear. What you'll immediately notice is that the gear lever feels a little strange if you're used to mid-engine or rear-engine Porsches, and that's partly because it's a transaxle car, so the transmission's in the back, and that shift rod has a long way to go before it actuates anything. So that's the sort of weird rubbery feeling you get with the shifter. The clutch is very, very light, and it engages near the top of the travel, which is also something that I kind of associate with older cars. It engages way far up. The shifting is very nice, very forgiving, and I didn't get the revs from second to third just right there, and the car didn't buck. Everything was pretty well damped. Man, what you get from a car from this era, Porsche of this era, is just like the air-cooled 911s, there's a feeling of solidity that isn't the same as it is in modern cars. And you can feel it here, you know, softer suspension, but the chassis itself is just like a bank vault. So third gear, getting on the gas, about 3,000 RPM. It's got some pickup. And here we are going downhill, full throttle. Yeah, it's a fun little car. Definitely not as fast as a 944 S2 or a turbo, but it definitely has more low-end torque than a turbo. Let's shift it down to second gear here. I'm gonna botch that heel and toe, that's okay. Full throttle, 5,500 RPM or so. Yeah, this is not a slow car, not as slow as I was expecting, to be quite honest. You know, you get this image in your mind that a base 944 is a slow car, but it's not, it's peppy. It's not fast, it's not gonna blow you away, but at these slower speeds, it'll get the job done. Let's try that downshift again. Yep, not quite. I need to give it a little more throttle. And here we go into a turn. Yep, heavier front end, you can definitely tell that. It's a front engine car for sure. Yeah, but it's got nice pep. I can see having a lot of fun on a back road, that's for sure. So it's slower than a modern car, for sure, but it does feel more solid. Hydraulically operated steering, just like most cars from this era. Lots of feel. I would even dare say it's on par with a 987 in steering feel. Now let me know what you think about that in comments. Yeah, something that's nice about 944s is that they squat when you get on the gas. You know, they coming out of a turn, or especially like in an autocross or a drag start, that rear end's gonna squat pretty hard. And it's a nice feeling actually, especially when you're going through a corner and you can feel the rear end just sit down on the tires and grip. It's a good feeling. No slip angle, just a lot of body movement. Now again, this is a stock 944, so this is roughly what you could expect from a car like this. Having owned a lightly modified suspension mod 944 S2, you can get them to be a little bit peppier in the turns. They'll turn in faster and all that. But for cruising around, or even the occasional autocross like somebody in our local region does, you can be very fast, beating a lot of higher horsepower cars in a 944 like this, a base car. So I'll say the standout parts of this car would have to be the ride quality and the steering on this short drive. They just feel superb. Rides better, I would say, than a lot of modern cars, and even modern Porsches when it comes to just soaking up bumps and cruising along. But I know from experience that this suspension is definitely good for sporting intentions. Let's see, 1987 944 in stock original condition. So we have three categories. I'll start with the first. That's car show. 10-15 years ago, you saw a lot of 944s at car shows. So, you know, this car probably would have scored a lot lower, you know, during the time when I owned my own 944. But nowadays, one, you don't see Alpine white too often. You don't see a burgundy interior like this. And three, you don't see 944s in such great original condition like this one is. It's not a 918 Spider, but it is one of the best 944s I've seen. I would give this a 7 or 8, so let's say 6.5 for car show. As far as 944s go, this would be parked at the front of the line. And people would enjoy seeing this. Definitely in today's day and age, a 944 is a classic. You know, people get joy out of seeing them. Second one would be daily drivability. Now, I'm gonna rate this car higher than many other Porsches that I've driven before because the ride quality is just outstanding. There are very, very few rattles or noises, if any, coming from the interior. It feels like a solid piece of metal or a bank vault. Just the solidity that you feel when you're driving around makes you feel comfortable being on the road with other people. Handling's predictable. I know 944s get pretty good gas mileage. I want to say maybe 20 combined if you're lucky. You're not giving it the beans too much. And you have a lot of storage, and you have back seats, which the back seats aren't super usable, but maybe a small child. And I do know for a fact you can fit a set of 4 wheels and tires into the back of a 944 if you needed to take it to an autocross or a track day. So I'm gonna say daily drivability, 3-4 days out of the week. I'm gonna give it a 7 or an 8, so let's settle on 7.5 for daily drivability. So road trip is our last category. Again, this will score pretty high compared to some other Porsches I've been in of the more sporting variety because it's so dang comfortable. You can fit a lot of luggage in the back. It'll be super comfortable for your best friend, your significant other to travel along with you. I would not put a child or an adult in the back seat for a road trip, but for 2 people, you could definitely fit at least 2 suitcases, some handbags, some backpacks, and you'd be just fine. And you get pretty good gas mileage on the whole drive. I'm gonna say this is an 8 when it comes to road trip. So there you have it. There are my 3 scores for this 1 mile review. And if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. As I am filming this, we recently passed 50,000 subscribers. We'd love to get 100,000 subscribers or more. And please like this video as well if you liked it. And comment. We wanna hear what you think about this 944, or if you think that I said something wrong or that you don't agree with about this car. So yes, please subscribe, like, and comment on this video, and I will see you guys next time.